Welcome back to the Losing It podcast. We're so glad that you decided to join us again today. I'm going to say it up front because we know we go on and sometimes you don't always make it to the end. But subscribe now. Do it now.
Do it now. You're under no obligation to listen to the end.
No.
But two things happen. One, we try and be all succinct and then people complain because I think
Yes.
like attract like, and you like a natter as much as we do. And then the other thing that happens is that we forget you're there.
Yeah.
And well, it's just because
We're just chitter-chatting.
we're just chatting.
Just
We're just
chitter-chatting.
chatting. So, if you want to find out what we're up to for the summer holidays, when the kids break up and, what time my Tesco shop is coming, you listen to the end.
Yeah.
But sometimes Heidi does a lovely wrap up and she does a lot of you have to choose one of us. You either get Nelle or me, and you can have an initial consultation whenever you like. And yes, we've always got room for you. And if we don't, then we'll jolly well make room for you. And all of that, you say it at the end. And I don't know if they ever hear that bit.
No.
But our contact details are here.
Are in the description. Always in the description. Couldn't contact either one of us. We do like separate slimmers. You do have to pick one of us. We're both lovely. We're a delight.
But you can pop yourself straight in. That's the thing. There is no fee. There's nothing like that for an initial consultation. It is what the life coaches of the world would say, an exploration call. And people try and encourage me to call it things like that, and I can't.
Don't they call it like a discovery call?
Yeah.
Right, we're just going to answer your questions and tell you the stuff you need to know so you can make a good decision. That's it.
I call them focus calls, but I think that first one should be called bravery. The brave call, the actually putting your name in my diary and then coming to talk about it and ask all of those silly little questions that you think are ridiculously, because it's probably out there somewhere, but it's only me that can't understand it. No, not at all. That is quite literally our job. And you're here, presumably either because you're a regular listener, in which case, thank you, but equally you're here because you're doing some research.
Yes.
You're looking at all the options out there. There is no such thing as a silly question. Put your name in mine or Heidi's diary, and we will spend that 40 minutes, and sometimes they're a bit longer, just doing exactly that, unpacking it with you, figuring out how, okay, I understand the basics of the plan in theory if everything goes well and I was a robot. How do I actually make that apply to the life that I'm living, especially as we head into the summer holidays? How do I do that 6-week? I've got 6 weeks off work because I'm a teacher, or I'm at home with the kids for 6 weeks, or, I've got this chunk of time. How do I maximize the potential of that? That's what a discovery call, so to speak, is for. How does this actually look for an individual? Because it's all about
exactly. And you just click the booking link and it will take you, you'll find a time. It asks you for questions. It's not because we're nosy, I promise. It is so that, well, a little bit. It's so that we come to that call with you, being fully prepared with all the information about what your best options are for you, based on your job, how much you want to do, your medical conditions, the whole shebang.
Yeah, they're the questions that the answers to which are going to affect the advice that we give you.
That's all. So, and if you're not sure, you can just leave it blank. It's fine. It's fine. Don't overthink it. Just get yourself in the diary. We will take care of the rest. If you get to the questions, you're like, just write your name in there and book the time.
Yeah, book the time and we'll see you there. The thing is, it is very brave to reach out and ask that first one, because I think we get so, especially in that research phase, we're casting around looking for the thing that's going to work and not hurt. And we know that weight loss is never going to be easy, but there's a lot on the internet that's telling you that it's really easy, and then there are other things that are like it doesn't work unless you're also doing taking these 17 supplements and running. I saw one this morning that really pissed me off, actually. I have to walk to 13,000, right? So 10,000 steps isn't enough of a pressure of a goal. We now have to tell an app everything about ourselves so it can set a personal goal. And rather than being very one-to-one and personal, it is that thing of, I just want your contact details so I can inundate you with how you should be doing more. And here is one of them. You know the difference. You can kind of smell them, can't you?
Then you get an email every day telling you how you're not enough and you should work hard.
It is exactly that. It's that predatory thing of preying on the inadequacy. If you're actually looking for something that's easy, that gets the weight off, that's really, really good, then it's the one. Here we are.
It is us, because we were chatting about this a little before we came on. If you are someone that's feeling really overwhelmed, you want someone to take away all the counting, all the measuring, you want to make sure you're hitting your macros without really having to worry about it yourself, you want to get good expert quality support that knows how this goes, can make it work for you, and you just want to get it done, step one on the one-to-one diet does all of that. There is no counting with meal replacement, complete meal replacement, which we often sometimes refer to as sole source. 3 or 4 meal replacements a day. It's all of your RDA for your daily vitamins, minerals. You're getting the right amount of protein, always high protein, because that's the best way to go, especially when you're in a calorie deficit and you want.
Yeah, and you don't have to do the meal plan. You don't have to do the shopping. You don't, if you just, you just want all of that to stop, because it's not that you don't know. 9 times out of 10, it's not ignorance, it's overwhelm. And nothing beats the overwhelm better than the one-to-one. Even one of the with food steps, because it's so minimal, the responsibility. Sometimes it's nice that, sometimes people
just
want
one meal.
But sometimes when the right answer is just to take it all away and get the bulk off and not have to do the thinking and the counting.
Not have to deal with summer, not have to deal with the barbecues. You can just opt out.
I see it all the time, and I think I recognize it because it was me. I see it
me
all
too.
the time with my initial consultations. It's that people know what they should. It's a shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yes.
The intention is there, the knowledge is there, but actually we're self-restricting, and then to the point of slashing and burning even more, to the point of then taking away something else and something else and something else, to the point where no healthy weight loss is going to happen at that point, because we've just slashed and burned, we've burned everything to the ground, and we don't even know where to look anymore. It's not about fewer calories, it's about the quality of those calories and the nutrient density and it's about eating well, not about eating less. And we've got that period of reintroduction at the other end. But in order to get you there, to get that bulk off, to lose the weight, it's the lowest steps of the one-to-one. Absolutely, hands down.
Especially if you're someone like me. If someone said in the beginning, you could lose, if you just lose £1 a week, it's like 4 stone a year. How many times have you heard that? I've heard that a million times in other
And how much did you lose?
I'm just going to say though, it made me want to stick pins in my eyes. And if that is you too, because I was like, £1 a week, I weigh 20 stone.
Yeah.
I haven't got time for £1 a week. Stop it. I'm not putting all this work in for £1 a week. Are you kidding me?
Same with me. I lost nearly 7 stone. And if
I lost,
do it,
well, 6 stone from my heaviest. So like,
absolutely no way that I was going to,
I was not going to, if I lost half a pound, I was
there was no way I was going to do that without without losing faith in myself at some point in there, and there was no way that I was going to be able to do that and keep the momentum that I needed. That's the thing.
And I think that's the biggest thing, isn't it? Because when you see those bigger losses in the early days, because we're always going to have that a little bit up front because of the change in lifestyle, you suddenly feel much more motivated, but you also get your confidence back in yourself. Because if anything like me, I'd lost confidence in my ability to make any decisions around any of this.
That's the
weight
thing.
loss,
it's not
food,
lack of knowing, but sometimes it's over research, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you know
I knew it all.
too much. Yeah.
But I was like, I know so much. Where would I start?
It's not necessary. Well, that's where Soul Source comes in, because where you start is by taking it all away and just rebuilding it from we're leveling it, it's that point of pushing the dynamite, the TNT thing, and the entire thing comes crumbling down on itself, and then you can see for looking. You can even start
rebuild it back at your pace.
Absolutely. But it's not so much that I need to get all 7 stone off right now, because although it is, and of course it's an element of that, we're looking for the fastest route. Still, muscle preservation, fat loss, we are still the fastest, absolutely, hands down, we are the fastest out there. But all of that is dependent on being on a plan that you can stick to, and that you can actually do, and that you can pull off. And it's not, it's not that kind of mad scrabble to get it off as fast as possible and then not know what to do next. It's just kind of, it's getting those consistent losses where in the early days, that's what keeps the momentum going. And so it stops becoming that hell-bent race to a goal, because that's going to happen. That becomes a formality. And I remember the moment the penny dropped. £7 loss, followed by a £4 loss, followed by a 3, followed by a 3, and I just kept waiting. I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. I kept waiting for that. Well, £1 a week is good. It's better if you lose it slowly. And it never came. I was a solid 2.5, 3.5, sometimes 4, depending on where I was in my cycle, loser. And that's when I knew it stopped becoming an endless race and more of a kind of reassuring weekly, ritual of, well, what am I going to get? Not if, what am I going to
Yes.
get this week?
Exactly. And mine took a little bit to get going because I was in my 40s. Now we know, already going through menopause. At the time, we weren't really as aware of that.
But my
Um,
weight loss is not as fast now as it was when I was, and I've talked very
no,
openly about my need to
yeah.
lose a bit of weight
So
this
it
year,
just,
haven't I?
but it did kind of ramp up. Like we watched it, didn't we? It started a little bit slow as my body got used to it.
Yeah.
And then it got with the program. And like Nell said, those 2.5, 3.5 pound losses were coming more regularly. And in 6 weeks, because I did it right before Christmas, because it's nothing like waiting for the last minute. But 6 weeks by the time I hit Christmas Day, I'd lost 1.5 stone. And let me tell you, you would have thought I'd lost 6 stone because I was on cloud nine. I thought I was the thing. I was like, this is amazing. Look how good I look. I'm amazing. This is so good. This is going to work. I am going to get there. I had so much confidence in my
And then the
health.
rest just became the passage of
Yes.
time.
And I have faith in the plan. The plan was working. So I knew if there was a week where okay, things didn't look how I wanted them on the scale or whatever happened, I had faith that it would work out because it had. And I
Yes.
could see the results and I felt good. And what we do for our slimmers and what our consultants did for us, and mine happened to be Nelle at the time, is we take some of that responsibility away and we go, I'm just going to give you the plan. This is all you have to do. Don't worry about anything else.
Yes,
You can
and
breathe
that
again.
instantly relieves the overwhelm.
Yes.
It's just that element of, because it's sometimes those early meetings with people can be them wanting to explain to us that they're not daft.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
think the rest
someone
of the
said that
world
to me at the
makes this.
weekend. If you haven't seen my social media, if you don't follow me on socials, I did a stall at the village fete carnival, whatever you want to call it. They call it a carnival. Thing and saw so many people. It's so much fun. But so many people said to me, well, I know what to do. I'm just
Yeah.
not doing it. And I'm like, yes, that's all of us. That's not just you,
The
love.
only thing I would
It's
pick up
not
on
just
there
you,
is
I
that
promise.
word just, because it's so dismissive. It's
Yeah.
dismissive of yourself, it's dismissive of your own capabilities and your own, your own agency in this situation. Incoming cat. If you're not watching me on video, you're about to see my cat, who's like,
She does
she
love
won't
to be part of
notice
the
if
YouTube.
I just sneak in here.
She's so
We
cute.
are very dismissive of ourselves, and I think that there is a broader sense in society where that is getting worse. And we do
Mm.
need to fight or advocate for ourselves and fight back
Yeah.
against that prevailing sense. Very difficult to do that on your own. You know how much easier it is to stand up for your best mate. You know when you see somebody, in the playground having a pop. No, no, no. I'm not having that. It's so much easier to see that from the
Yeah.
outside. We are that professional best mate in the school
Yeah.
ground who's
The
going to
other
come over
person
and
is
go,
like, let me out.
"Oi,
I have voice in your
don't talk
head.
to my
Let me
friend
at
like
you.
that. Don't you dare." Whereas I would be back against the wall going, "You're right, I'm absolutely useless. I don't know why I even bothered getting up this morning." We are terrible, because you do know you are much more capable than you are currently able to give yourself credit. And that is why when people say it's just about weight loss, yes, you can get the numbers down, but it's so much more than that. One of the reasons that Heidi was feeling so much better after 6 weeks was because the benefits of good nutrition and all those things I said about the quality of the nutrition were all there. They were all kicking in. You were well hydrated. You had good nutrition backing you up. The morale goes through the roof because
Oh, I was feeling it, love. I was there in my Christmas
so it's
dress
not
being
just
weighed in every week.
it's not just the weight loss that makes you feel better in and of itself, and that's what gives you the momentum to figure out what comes next, to start building the foundations of that new normal. And that is why we've got the best exit strategy as well. But it's a process of trusting the advice that you're being given in the face of that level of overwhelm, because you're an influencer. You can say whatever crazy you like, and there are some really good ones, but man, it's a wild west out there at the moment
It
on
really
social
is.
media, of well, all you need to do is this, well, all you need to do is this, well, all you need to do is this, and whew, don't know where to start.
No, and we're not allowed to do that. We have very strict guidelines, not just from the one-to-one, but also from the Direct Selling Association, which we are certified by, and we have to take that certification
And we
every year.
wouldn't anyway.
I know, because
The
who would
temptation
that
sometimes,
serve?
it's like the temptation
Couldn't
sometimes
help us or you. I
to
mean,
do that.
it's
You know when they
ridiculous.
stitch, when they stitch them as well, and then the one comes along and explains why everything they just said was absolute. Oh, the temptation is real sometimes because
Maybe that's, I should stitch them and do this face like.
I get
What? If you're not watching this,
yeah,
you
you
missed that
should.
face.
I get fed a lot of this
Me too. Because
on
we're in
social
this
media
space
because
online,
yes, we are
it
in
thinks
this
we want to
space
see more of it.
exactly. So how many times can we be that, there's almost like that, they're wearing a t-shirt that goes, I'm not with them, I'm not with
Yeah.
him. Yes, I am in this space, but I'm not that.
No, and I'm just going to hit up one thing that I know is going through your head. But what do you say about that little myth that's out there that says, if I lose it quickly, I won't keep it off? It's a myth, and the science says otherwise. There are
Which is
there are
interesting because
studies that say the opposite to
we're
that,
clinically proven to be
actually.
the fastest option out there, and that's us saying that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you're not
yeah.
wrong because the first time I lost weight, I had had my second baby and I was 30, and it shifted differently than when you're 43. But the truth is, I still started and I'm still here and I've just hit 3 stone. So does it matter? Does it?
And also, we're the only plan out there that has a plan to build you back to maintenance, reverse you out of dieting, increase your calories over time in a manageable way with those meal replacements for support, getting less
It
over
is
time,
so much
so you
more
can
than just
keep
the
it off.
mind game.
Yeah.
It's so much more than just here's the meal plan and a bit of hope.
Good luck, love.
Hope is
How
lovely,
many
but it's
people have
not
done that, lost their weight at the swimming club? Good luck. I don't know what happens
good luck.
now.
Well, hope. I don't want it to go
Hmm.
back on. No, speaking of somebody that's just had to lose 3 stone to get back to where she wanted to be, none of us who ever regained a bit of weight ever wanted to put weight back on. It's not a complete program. It's not a strategy. And it has really underestimated stabilization, which is pre-maintenance. It's the figuring it out
Yeah.
stage. And no, I don't think there is any. That's what kept it off for. I mean, it talked to any successful maintainer, and that's
Yes.
what did it. It's not just a decision that you make either. It's a physiological process. It's giving your body chance to catch up and recalibrate and relearn as well. So you really are, it is the building blocks that you need. Getting to goal and then behaving like it's a decision doesn't tune into the body mind connection at all. It makes everything kind of, cut off at the neck. Well, my brain says this, so this is what will happen. It's like,
Yeah, and there's so many things as you move into that kind of space where we are looking at kind of sustaining for a bit and seeing how things go and looking at what that's going to look like for the longer term and figuring it out together with support. So many things come up for people because it's a space that's a little bit uncomfy that many of us haven't been in for a long amount of time. So getting that support is what makes the difference in being able to do that. And so if that is a worry of yours, please do not panic, because that is our expertise. That is what we're here for. That is where the plan
yeah,
kind of
and some
excels at
people
the other end.
some people love that very prescriptive nature for the weight loss phase.
Yeah.
And that's what I've noticed in years and years of doing this job, is that we crave that prescriptive. I
Yes,
just wish
100%.
somebody would tell me what to do. I wish somebody would just make the decisions for me, because I'm not daft, but I can't see for
Yeah.
looking anymore. And then when it comes back to the food element, they're like, it's wonderful because they're feeling confident,
Yes.
but sometimes we just have to say, well, actually, this bit's going to be super prescriptive as well. And they, be a little bit more resistant to that. But that's where the one-to-one will kicks in beautifully, because you can't just give everybody the same meal plan. Everybody's different. Everybody's needs are going to be different for maintenance. And that's where it gets really interesting, because working with individuals is my absolute number one passion. I can draw on what works from my experience and share that to the benefit of your journey, but you are still completely unique. What I love about the plan is the clinical evidence. That is not subjective. That bit, I don't need to draw on my experience, because there are hard and fast rights and wrongs, yeses and nos and blacks and whites. And that makes it much easier to stand strong in the advice I'm giving. It's not what I think. It's not what I reckon from what you've told me might. It is absolutely, this works when we do it like this. Now, how are we going to make that work for you so that we can be as true to the plan as possible, and fundamentally get you the biggest return on your investment? The effort is there, the will is there, it's never in doubt. You've got the means and the time and the oomph and the want to do it. That's where you go back to something like the 6 week summer holidays.
Yes.
And people respond quite well to challenges. We've talked about this before,
Yeah.
haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Challenges can be really good to concentrate the mind. It's about sort of giving yourself that focused amount of time. Number one rule, and I wish it weren't true, because if we could lose weight absent-mindedly, wouldn't that be lovely? Concentrate. You need a bit of focus. It's
Focus.
time
Yeah.
to focus and give yourself a fighting chance of putting yourself at the top of the list. Number one reasons people don't stick to plan. That would be a great video. What are the top 5 reasons people don't stick to plan? Busy.
Busy.
Too busy. Too busy. I think number 3 is too busy.
Too busy.
Being
the kids
busy.
are off school and I was very busy.
I was getting everything done for everybody else, and then
I was very busy.
they also needed this, and it made me really busy.
I was
and
busy.
Boundaries around.
I didn't have enough time to make something for me, so I grabbed it on the run because I was busy. Which is where meal replacement really comes into its own, because it's not just shakes, if that's what you think. We have so many different products and a lot of different types of products so that they can fit what you need. So we've got grab and goes. If you really are on the run, you're like, I just want something, no prep, that's in my hand that I can have.
So we can work on that boundaries. We can work on a bit of habit change. But for right now, if you are so busy putting everybody else first that you're just slumped down the bottom of the heap, that nothing's quicker than a ready-made shake.
No.
We can still mainline, think of it like an IV, like for your nutrition, like we can still mainline nutrition into you, and the quality of the calories and all those things that that we just talked about. We can do that on the go whilst you and as the weight comes down, you might be able to claw back certainly a bit of headspace from all the counting and the thinking and the worrying about where we go from here. What's next. We're not expecting you to be perfect. We want to slide into your day-to-day life in the easiest.
I thought you were going to say we want to slide into your DMs.
I'm not doing that. I want them to slide into mine.
Slide into ours.
I mean,
there's nothing better.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over.
Sorry, I talked over you then. I was to say, there's nothing better than getting to munch a chocolate bar on the school run and only get a 30 daily nutrition. You're on plan, you haven't got to think about it, and it tastes like a fudge brownie. I just want that.
It's such a relief. It's such a relief because it reminds you of who you are and how capable you are, because we see you in a way that I don't think the rest of the world currently does.
No, and we like to tell ourselves that 6 weeks isn't very long. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm just done 6 weeks on plan, and I'm 3 pounds away from losing 2 stone. So just put it, just leave it there. 6 weeks is a good amount of time, not only to move the number on the scale, but have you feeling better, in control, get your energy back, feel more like you, prove to yourself you can do it, so that you're not having to start over in September feeling down on yourself, because that's not a good way to start.
No, and just give yourself a period of time where you can concentrate, really pull up the drawbridge and just say, no, this is what I'm doing. I'm prioritizing this and putting it first. And I know that even saying those words makes you feel like, I can't do that. I haven't got time. I'm far too busy. I can't do that. It might upset my mother-in-law who, made that special potato salad. I mean, we've
got strategies to deal with mother-in-laws. Don't worry.
Yeah, we have. There's always going to be something. There is always going to be something, but you deserve the opportunity to pull that drawbridge up and just say, no, I'm putting this front and center for now. And it becomes second nature so fast, doesn't it?
Yeah. And if you were looking for the easiest, least amount of work your end to get results and not have to think about it too much, that is what we're here for. That is the step one.
Why it makes it so difficult to go out on socials and say that, because it sounds too good to be true. And so what, if you are in that research phase and that overwhelm is starting to hit, and you are also getting inundated with all the influencers and all the adverts for, disappear and, come back like a butterfly and, do that, they're overcomplicating so much of it, because they have to have a shtick. They have to have some.
They have to have a reason that you need them.
Well, yes. I mean, obviously.
I mean, we do too, but.
Yeah, well, hopefully because we're pleasant to talk to and you can kind of share stuff with us and we can actually, affect some.
We're actually real human beings who have done it, been there, understand how it all feels, like totally get it, and have.
Well, I think we're good demonstrations of busy people who will tell ourselves when we're struggling that even making a smoothie is just too much like hard work.
Oh, I say that to people all the time. I'm like, please don't wait too long for that product, because your brain will convince you that it's quicker to make 3 rounds of toast than it is to eat your chocolate bar. I know how your brain works. Don't put yourself in that position.
Yeah. But
You
it's not,
know, those little things, we know how it's going to run.
there are fantastic coaches. I shouldn't be, there are, there are fantastic coaches who are out there giving sound advice and affecting change. They're just not the ones on Instagram telling you that if you get this downloadable printout, that, the secret, the magic answer is in there, because we're all looking for that one magic answer. And we've got plenty of videos here providing balance of what to do when it gets difficult, because it does. We're not selling you, something that is, the miracle cure. In actual fact, what we're trying to do with this channel is to find that balance where
Yes,
we can say it can be easier. Let's figure out how. Let's make it, make it easier for you in a very, one-to-one kind of way. But it is always about trying to find that realistic balance. And I think that's why we are good at what we do, because like Heidi just said, we are people who've done it.
yes.
That's all.
And really, step one is perfect because it takes away that overwhelm. It feels like an easy option. You're getting support, you're getting someone to tell you what to do. It's a good one to get started. If you are somebody that feels a bit stuck, like you've been saying, oh, I should do something for the last 6 months, then it's a good in. It's a good in. It gets you onto momentum. It gets the pounds moving. Gets you feeling better. It makes you feel capable. And then at any point, you can go, oh, I feel much better. Do you think we could put some feedback in? And we totally can. You're not stuck on one step forever. That's not how it runs.
That's what I did, actually. That's exactly what I did. And it was incredibly empowering. And once I reassured myself I could do that, I dropped back down to Soul Source and did
Yes.
another round. Yeah.
And that is part of our expertise, to have those conversations with you and work out a plan for you based on what we offer. And that is the one-to-one nature of this. So if you are listening to us and thinking, yeah, I don't want to put it off for another 6 weeks and be in September thinking, oh, what if? Let's just get it done. Don't worry about the events. Don't worry about the things you've got coming up. We can deal with all of that.
We'll do it
We've got a
together.
plan. We'll do it together.
My kids have just broken up. We could totally do it together. We could do the kind of, the ring-fenced period of time, and then I don't know, it might even be enough to get me back on Instagram. I really struggle with Instagram because every time I go on there, I get inundated with all of that. That's how I know how overwhelming it is.
I know.
If
Maybe
only
we
I
should
could
do.
stop doing all the research and all of the looking and just
I know.
quietly have somebody that
Yes.
I trusted to talk to, and I could just crack on and get the results.
Maybe we should do a 6 week survive the summer with a little tip each week, and we'll do it together on Instagram.
Yes, that would be really good. I also, for all we say, don't events and all the rest of it, I also have the Gold Champion trip with the one-to-one diet coming up in September. And I was thinking about doing the last bit of my own weight loss in terms of accountability, because I'm looking at some size 12s on Vinted that I'm not convinced would fit me right now, but I would like to think that they would then. And maybe you could help me with that as well.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask Heidi to be
I'm
my
convinced
consultant
they
because
will
she
fit.
is great. I
Like I said
trained you,
before, it's
so
really hard to be objective on yourself. That's why you need support helps, because
yeah.
we can never do it
Oh no, but you're
100%
brilliant,
for
Heidi. Because
ourselves.
I will, like I could do the 6 weeks and I could say it out loud on Instagram. And then every time I doubt myself and second guess myself, you can do what you always do best, which is knock that right off.
Yeah, which is what we do for each other, and it's what we do for our slimmers. And come do it with us. We're very nice. We'll get you the results. You'll feel good about it, and you won't have to do a lot of thinking. Which, when you're busy, I mean, that's
Yeah, it's
the
a
perfect thing to
combination, isn't
do.
it, of just you made me think. I know we should shut up because nobody ever listens to the end. It's a combination. When I say it's hard, but it's easy, but it's hard, but it's easy, and we try and do videos that cover the whole lot, it's because we don't want anyone to feel like they're alone, and
Mhm.
that they do deserve that support, and that it's normal to struggle and all of that kind of thing. But I think it's that thing of not having to talk about it. I
Yes.
love Soul Source because it means I don't have to endlessly talk and think about dieting. I can just get the results. I can get back to feeling like me. It can work. And the
Yeah.
relief is amazing. That in a way makes me want to talk about it
Yep.
in that safe space with my consultant or with my best mate who also happens to be my consultant. That worked out really well. But it's that safe space to talk about the bits that matter. So instead of endlessly talking about it, like I can't do slimming groups. I never could because of the endless talking about it. But
Well, and
having
also it incites murder, because there's someone in the corner who's had seven
always loves
McDonald's, they've
more.
still lost 3 pounds, and you're just like, I'm going to murder her in the car park. I was good. The scale didn't move. What are you talking about, Barbara?
And I think that's the one-to-one. It's that bit, it's
Yes.
that bit that so actually I do want to talk about it. I know I say I don't, but it's that one bit. that really matters to me right now.
Usually
It's
it's a
that
really
one bit that
vulnerable
I
bit.
just need to figure out. It's that one bit that I'm just having a bit of a, an issue with now that I can see for looking that was the bit that I was doing wrong. That was a bit that I was messing. That was a bit that I was doing deliberately to hold myself back. And like you say, sometimes it's quite personal and quite oftentimes it's quite humbling. It's something that I didn't really want to admit before, because I was doing plan last year, wasn't working. Funny that, isn't it? Because I've done plan this year, 3 stone down. So that
Yeah.
maybe
And
having a bit
often,
of a chat about.
we can see those things. Just don't want to share them in a hall full of 30 other people.
No, or a chatbot.
No,
Sorry, I'm just going
you
to
want a
say it.
real
There's a lot of
person who
things out there that are
understands.
offering online support that they're not. They're yeah. I don't want an AI boyfriend. Thanks.
But also another human who understands the nuance in life and your personality. And that's the thing. That's the reason why at the other end, when we are talking about maintenance, we've got videos on that. We are able to give you more individual advice because we've got to know you over this whole time. And we've got to have lots of chats and
Good
figure stuff
old-fashioned
out together.
relationship, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mean you can invest in it as much as you like because there are huge long swathes of time where people just crack
It's
on.
all going very well. I don't really need to talk to you. I'm just
No,
going to say
but
it's all good, mate.
yeah, but it's still nice to share your wins. I think that's the spirit in which I want to go back to social media is to share those wins and to, yes, acknowledge the struggles, but to really pour a bit of light on where, actually I've found my groove. And when you
Yes.
find your groove, you suddenly don't really care what Barbara's up to. God love her. I hope
Don't
she does
care.
brilliantly. I want everybody to win by
And you
losing.
stop comparing yourself to, other people online who may be 20 years younger than you. You can't get those results. But all of that. My swimmer this week messaged me. She's just hit her 6 stone. Like, I'm so happy. I think I may have swore at her. Oh, yes. Oh, God, I'm so happy for you. Like, come on. And then I had another slimmer saying, I haven't weighed in, but I lost this many inches this week. And I went to the pool yesterday and I've been to the pool today and I'm really enjoying it. And I had my pancakes this morning and this doesn't feel like a diet. And I was like, yes, yeah, yeah, all of that, and there's so sometimes people are quite shocked at the beginning. They're like, so this is working
Yes,
and I'm
and I think
enjoying it.
sometimes they're quite reluctant to celebrate it because they don't know how. We're
Yeah.
all very well versed in going to spaces where we commiserate with one another about how we haven't lost much weight.
Yeah, exactly. And
But we're
it's
not,
just,
it doesn't come naturally to us to celebrate ourselves. We've come from a background of giving ourselves a really freaking hard time.
I
Um,
know,
so,
I am,
it's nice to have somebody who can swear at you in
yeah,
genuine delight and celebrate, your successes.
yeah. I think I wrote an Instagram post this week when I was talking about my 5 year little piece of glass came to say I've been a consultant for over 5 years. And I think I said, thank you to my slimmers. And I said, and thank you for just making me absolutely feral about your success because I love you all. I'm
I
like,
think it's
yes,
because
you
we're
just
victim.
yeah.
You and I are absolutely part of that demographic, part of that algorithm, and we've been targeted for since we were 10 years old. I
Yeah.
mean, we have been fed that nonsense our entire lives, and they're still trying. So
Yes.
in any small way, that we can push back. My slimmer has just arrived.
Just so that.
In any which way we can push back and change that narrative and stand up for ourselves. It's a really big deal. It just doesn't come naturally for us to believe it's going to work and feel this good. I mean,
Yeah.
like how many times, like it's, oh my gosh, if I can do this with chocolate shakes and a cookie and cream bar, this is a diet I can do. I'm all in.
Yeah. We have mug cakes as well. I'm just saying. We will go now because Nell does have another slimmer, and we were supposed to only make a short video, but we just love chatting to you. Thank you for
We
doing
did
this.
do we did do that disclaimer at the beginning though, so don't say that you weren't warned.
No, and we will see you next week. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.